Okay, so today I'm going to interview my pa.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Wilf Pascoe, on William Pascoe, his grandpa. So the first question I'm going to ask him is, when and where was William born?
Yes, he was born on the 9th of February in 1874 at Macetown near Queenstown in New Zealand, South New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, what is the person's earliest memory?
Right, my grandfather wrote about his early life, and his earliest memories was that he was part of a large family. He had brothers and sisters, and they lived in a very small house, and he loved his mother because she was kind and gentle and talked to all of her children.
Yeah, that's some nice
That's
memories.
what he remembers.
Okay, so in William's life, was there a teacher that the person remembers? Why was his teacher memorable?
Yeah, William Pascoe lived at a time when not every town or area had a school, and he was largely self-taught with his mother's help. So really she was his first teacher, but not an official teacher, and he taught himself. He learned how to read. He used to have a little candle that he would light and read at night time, and he would go to the libraries, or people, families that lived in the near area would loan books, and he would read those, and he taught himself. And the other part of the question was about
why was this teacher memorable?
We've sort of partly talked about that.
Like
Possibly
the kindness
yes,
of his mom and family, or
definitely that. That's what he remembers, is her kindness to and ability to listen and be fun. Yeah.
That's always to have a good memory. Okay, so my next question is, was there someone that the person really looked up to when they were a teenager?
Yeah, when my grandfather William was a teenager, he lived just south of Queenstown in the Tokanui area of New Zealand, which was large farms, open land, and there were lots of wild cattle and so forth. So but nearby there was a church, and the church minister was very open to him. He invited him to be the leader of the youth group, and even to take church services at times. So he learned a lot about the Bible from the minister of his church.
Yeah, so that was like his really, really influential person.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, what was the biggest influence in the person's career, and how did this thing influence them?
His church minister, as I said, interested him in the Bible, and from the jobs that he was given to do. And so it happened that later on, when some things happened in his life, he decided to, become a Seventh-day Adventist, and he decided to come to Avondale College and study for the ministry. So that contact with his pastor led him into being a minister.
So I kind of know a little bit of information about it. I've looked up, and a crazy thing was that he didn't come up a Seventh-day Adventist, and he was walking through home one day, and in the mud there was a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper it said, is there any evidence in the Bible telling you that you should worship on Sunday, and that challenging question actually made him to read through the Bible several times to come up with a conclusion, and that is the reason why he was a Seventh-day Adventist. Cool fact there.
That's true.
So we've kind of talked about the pastors already, but I've got a question. what would the person's ideal, so what would William's ideal job be?
Normally it would be a farmer.
Yeah.
Because he grew up on a big farming property in a farming area in the wilds of South New Zealand at that time.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, because of his interest in the Bible and his becoming an Adventist, he found that lots of things.
That he wanted to do theology at Avondale, right?
Yeah. And so he got great joy in being able to share his faith with other people, to be a good leader of the church in New Zealand and in Australia. He was a good financier. He looked after money and very careful, and so kept out of debt. Yeah, so he was a good all-around man, and that became his chief job, not the one he normally would have ended up in life doing.
Yeah. Hey, so my next question is, what is William's most significant memory?
The one he talked about a lot was the fact that he was at Avondale College at the time when a lady called Ellen G. White was starting the college back in 1899 and the year 1900. And he was there at the college, and he talked a lot about the things she said and the way she lived, and how she helped people.
That is a very good memory.
Yeah.
The person who started the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Ellen White. So my next question is, what accomplishment do you think that William is most proud of? It's a big question. Like, from what you know of him too.
Yeah. He was a very humble person, so he's not proud of that. No, I'll start again. William would remember, because he used to talk about it, his family. He loved his family, and he had 5 boys in his family. They were very important to him. He talked a lot about how the people he helped really went on to do better things for their life than they would have otherwise done. He actually improved their ability to do things just by helping them and talking to them and guiding them as a pastor.
That is a very good accomplishment, because it was really helping his family, and that's what good people do.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you think just everyday people will remember him?
They remembered him, as I have suggested, by his true humbleness. He was a humble man. He was gentle. He was kind. He was sincere. He didn't try and push them around. But he just did the things that came to him to help them as a person in their situation. And they liked him for that.
That's something to be very proud of, and I think is a great accomplishment in life. So it's my very last question, sadly. I've been loving interviewing you. And so this question is, what is William's greatest hope?
His greatest hope and his expectation was that he would meet Jesus when Jesus comes again. He used to preach a lot about that subject, because I used to hear him preaching. And he really loved Jesus, and he wanted Jesus to come. He wanted to be there to meet his family and all his church members.
I had a look at his grave up at Avondale retirement thing around there, and it actually said on his grave plate, with him and all of his wife, like, we rest until Jesus or something, until he comes again, which I think is really amazing and just shows his love for Jesus and how
Yeah.
amazing this person.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say a massive thank you to Pastor Will Pascoe for letting me interview him.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming and yeah.
Sharing.